The crystal chandeliers cast golden light across my parents' formal dining room, where our family gathered for their annual celebration of success dinner. Mother had outdone herself with the table-setting Wedgwood china, sterling silver cutlery, and fresh orchid centerpieces that probably cost more than what they thought I made in a month. "Pass the wine, dear," my sister Amanda said, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light as she reached across the table. "You can afford wine these days, can't you? Working at that little clinic in the bad part of town." I passed the bottle, noting it was a $200 Bordeaux, about half of what I'd spent on lunch with the hospital board yesterday. "The clinic's doing fine," I said quietly, checking my phone as another acquisition update came in. "Doing fine isn't the same as doing well," Dad interjected, straightening his Hermes tie. "Your sister made partner at her law firm. Your brother's hedge fund cleared 8 figures last quarter. And what was it again? A general practitioner for people who can't afford real hospitals." My brother James snickered, cutting into his Wagyu beef. "Hey, somebody's got to handle the runny noses and sprained ankles. Not everyone can be a real doctor like Uncle Philip here." He gestured to our uncle, the self-proclaimed finest orthopedic surgeon in the state. Uncle Philip dabbed his mouth with his napkin. "Speaking of real doctors, I heard Metropolitan Hospital is being acquired. Biggest medical center acquisition in the state's history. Now that's real medicine, not this community clinic nonsense." I felt my phone buzz again. The final paperwork was ready for signing. "Remember when you turned down that residency at Metropolitan?" Mom sighed, refilling her wine glass. "You could have been part of something important. Instead, you waste your talents at that tiny clinic in the poor district." "I made my choices," I replied, noting another message from my chief financial officer about the bond transfer. "Poor choices," Amanda corrected. "Do you know how embarrassing it is when my friends ask about my sister the doctor, and I have to explain you're basically running a charity case?" I checked my watch, a subtle Patek Philippe that cost more than Amanda's car. "The chief of surgery would be arriving any minute." "We just want what's best for you," Mom said, reaching across to pat my hand condescendingly. "It's not too late to join a proper practice. I'm sure Uncle Philip could make some calls." "Actually," I began but was cut off by James. "Face it, sis. You aimed low and hit your target. Some people just aren't meant for greatness." The doorbell rang and Harrison, our family butler, went to answer it. I could hear confident footsteps approaching the dining room. "Well, if you're happy playing small-time doctor," Dad started, but his voice trailed off as Dr. Elizabeth Warner, chief of surgery at Metropolitan Hospital, walked into our dining room. She was impressive in her tailored suit, her presence commanding immediate attention. Uncle Philip nearly choked on his wine. He'd applied for her position 3 times and been rejected. "Dr. Peterson," she said, nodding to me respectfully. "I apologize for interrupting your family dinner, but the board insisted I deliver this in person." She held up a leather portfolio. "Your hospital acquisition is complete. Metropolitan is now officially part of your healthcare network." Dad's champagne glass slipped from his fingers, shattering on the expensive parquet floor. The sound echoed through the sudden silence. I stood up, smoothing my simple but immaculately tailored dress. "Thank you, Dr. Warner. Shall we use Dad's study to review the paperwork? I believe there's still the matter of the new pediatric wing to discuss." "Of course," she replied. "The contractors are eager to begin the $100 million expansion you proposed." As I walked toward the study, I paused beside my stunned sister. "By the way, Amanda, that tiny clinic you mocked? It's now the headquarters of the largest private healthcare network in the state. But don't worry, I'll make sure your family still gets priority treatment in the public waiting room." The silence in the dining room shattered as everyone began speaking at once. Uncle Philip's face had turned an alarming shade of red as he stared at Dr. Warner, who he'd tried to leapfrog professionally for years. "This must be some kind of mistake," Dad sputtered, trying to regain his composure. "Metropolitan Hospital is a billion-dollar institution. They wouldn't sell to your daughter?" Dr. Warner interjected smoothly, opening her tablet. "Perhaps you'd like to see the press release going live in 5 minutes? Or the acquisition documents listing Dr. Peterson as the majority shareholder and CEO of the newly formed Integrated Health Systems." Mom's hands trembled as she reached for her wine glass. But the clinic. Was just the beginning, I said, taking out my phone and pulling up the company portfolio. While you were all mocking my tiny clinic, I was building the most efficient healthcare network in the country. That charity case became the model for cost-effective, high-quality care that caught the attention of major healthcare investors. Impossible, James whispered, his face pale. You'd need hundreds of millions in capital. Dr. Warner cleared her throat. The initial public offering last year raised $2.7 billion. Your sister's innovative healthcare management system has revolutionized the industry. That little clinic proved that premium healthcare could be both profitable and accessible. Amanda's diamond bracelet clinked against her water glass as her hand shook. But you drive a Toyota. Because I invest in hospitals, not cars, I replied calmly. While you were buying luxury vehicles, I was acquiring medical centers. That poor district clinic? It now serves as the template for 30 similar facilities across the state. 30. Uncle Philip choked out. Pulling up the network map now, Dr. Warner said, projecting a digital display from her tablet. Red dots appeared across the state map, each representing a facility in my healthcare network. Metropolitan was the final piece. Dr. Peterson now oversees the largest integrated healthcare system in 3 states. Dad's face had gone from red to white. The pediatric wing she mentioned, $100 million? The Peterson Children's Medical Center, Dr. Warner confirmed. Your daughter insisted it be named after the family, though after tonight I'm not quite sure why. My brother's hedge fund reports lay forgotten on the table as he stared at the financial statements Dr. Warner was displaying. These profit margins, they're better than my best quarter. Efficient healthcare is good business, I said, watching another notification pop up on my phone. Speaking of business, the press release just went live. I believe your phones should be buzzing right about. As if on cue, everyone's phones began chiming with news alerts. Mom fumbled with hers, reading aloud in a shaking voice. Metropolitan Hospital acquisition creates largest healthcare network in region, led by pioneering CEO Dr. Catherine Peterson. Catherine? Uncle Philip squinted at his phone. You're the miracle maven of modern medicine, that Medical Weekly profiled last month. The very same, Dr. Warner confirmed. Your niece's management system has reduced patient costs by 40% while improving recovery rates by 35%. We've had delegations from 3 countries visiting to study her model. Amanda's law firm newsletter popped up on her tablet. Breaking: Healthcare Revolution as Integrated Health Systems Completes Historic Acquisition. Her face crumpled as she realized her own firm had been vying for the Metropolitan Hospital contract, which I now controlled. Now, I said, checking the time on my watch that cost more than Dad's car. Shall we discuss the new hospital board positions? I have some vacancies to fill, though I should warn you, we have very strict qualification requirements. Being family isn't one of them. The silence was deafening as my words sank in. The same people who had dismissed my career now realized they might need to ask me for jobs. Dr. Peterson, Dr. Warner interrupted, the board is waiting for our video call to discuss the transition. Of course, I replied. Mom, Dad, I'll have my office send over the press packet. You might want to prepare some responses for your country club friends. I'm sure they'll have questions about your daughters. What did you call it? My waste of talent? The following week transformed my family's dynamic completely. The press coverage was relentless. Every major business publication wanted an interview with the secretive healthcare mogul, who had built an empire from a single clinic. I sat in my penthouse office, reviewing the latest acquisition reports when my assistant buzzed in. Your father is here for his 2 p.m. appointment. He's been waiting in the lobby for 20 minutes. Let him wait another 10, I replied, a small satisfaction after years of hearing him say, time is money and your little clinic is wasting both. When Dad finally entered my office, he looked diminished in a way his expensive suit couldn't hide. The floor-to-ceiling windows behind my desk offered a commanding view of the city, including his now dwarfed accounting firm building. Catherine, he started, fidgeting with his tie, I've been doing some thinking about what you said regarding board positions. I held up my hand. Before you continue, you should know that Uncle Philip already tried to leverage his surgical experience for a position yesterday. Dr. Warner was unimpressed. Dad's face flushed. I wasn't going to ask for a position. No, you were going to suggest a mutually beneficial arrangement where your firm handles our accounting. I pulled up a document on my screen. Just like you suggested to Metropolitan last year. They declined then too. The silence stretched uncomfortably. The thing is, Dad, I continued, turning my monitor to show him our latest financial projections, while you were all laughing at my little clinic, I was learning something valuable. True success isn't about showing off wealth, it's about creating value. My phone buzzed with another update. Our patient satisfaction scores had hit record highs again. Your sister called this morning, Dad said quietly. Her law firm is hoping to retain their contract with Metropolitan, which now falls under my purview, I finished. Yes, we're reviewing all existing contracts. Merit-based decisions only. The irony wasn't lost on either of us. My wasteful focus on affordable healthcare had created more wealth than my siblings' naked pursuit of money. Your mother wanted me to ask. He hesitated, about the family name on the new children's wing. Ah yes, I smiled, pulling up the architectural renders. The Peterson Children's Medical Center. Amazing how a name can carry such different weight depending on who's using it, isn't it? Dad stared at the magnificent building design, the family name prominently displayed. Catherine, about what we said at dinner. You mean last week or the past 10 years? I interrupted, standing to walk to the window. The thing about running a healthcare network, Dad, is that you learn a lot about healing. But some things leave scars. My assistant buzzed again. Dr. Peterson, the governor is on line 1 about the state healthcare initiative. Tell him I'll call back in 5 minutes, I replied, turning to face my father. I learned something else from that tiny clinic. The value of time. This meeting was scheduled for 15 minutes. You have 3 left. Dad's shoulders sagged. What can I do to make things right? I picked up a folder from my desk. Inside is a list of free clinics needing volunteer accounting services. Not glamorous work, no country club bragging rights. But it matters. Start there. As security escorted him out, my phone lit up with a text from Mom. Dinner on Sunday? Your choice of restaurant. I typed back, can't. Flying to Stockholm, keynote speech at the World Health Summit. But the clinic where I started is serving free family dinners on Sunday. Maybe start there. My assistant entered with the daily reports. Your sister Amanda is in the lobby again. Tell her my schedule is full, I replied, scanning the documents. But the clinic in her district needs volunteer legal services. She's welcome to apply through proper channels. At my desk, I glanced at the framed photo from that dinner. The night everything changed. The final papers made it official. I was now CEO of the region's largest healthcare network. Dr. Warner texted, remove the family reserved seats? No, I replied. Leave them empty as a reminder. From my office, the old clinic looked tiny, but it had built this empire. Somewhere below, my family was learning that real power isn't in expensive wine. It's in making a difference.